Welcome everyone to this talk about the smart lidar concept, an adaptive tool for smarter wind turbines and smarter wind farms. My name is David Schlipf. I'm a professor at the Flensburg University of Applied Sciences in the Wind Energy Technology Institute, and I'm also head of lidar services at our company Sovento. This work has been done together with my PhD student Feng from Flensburg, Hai Long from Move Laser, Florian and Stefan from Sovento. The motivation behind this smart lidar concept is the general trend in technology. Phones have been previously only used to make phone calls, but today we use smartphones with a lot of apps for a lot of other things. Also, cars become more adaptive. In the near future, they will be mostly self-driving. We expect a similar trend in wind energy. Wind turbines and lidar system will become more adaptive and more adjustable. This is the outline of the talk today. We will first introduce the smart lidar concept and then show a first integrated implementation and a first concept study we did offshore. We further introduce the moving horizon lidar data processing and our next steps for the industrialization. Further, we present our current progress in research and some conclusions and an outlook. The main idea of the smart lidar concept came up during one of our early field testing of lidar-assisted control, where in simulation we first tested the combination of feedback and feed-forward controller using perfect preview. Bladed is then also able to simulate the raw signals of the lidar. However, the lidar data processing, which converts the raw signal into usable signal, was only available on the real lidar system. So we had to do for the simulation our own lidar data processing and later on integrate it into the PLC. However, this is very time consuming since the controller PLC is safety relevant. Thus, it would be much better to have a smart lidar system where we can use the lidar data processing algorithms in simulation and on the real lidar system. These algorithms or apps can then be provided by researchers or by companies such as Sovento and will enable a very effective collaboration. We don't need to share source code, and the apps can be easily adjusted for specific conditions such as floating wind turbines. It further has a really huge benefit for certification. The first smart lidar has been implemented on a MOLAS, a Move Laser lidar. Here in the original firmware we had our calculation of the line of sight wind speed and our baseline lidar data processing from MOLAS. And in this cooperation between our Wind Energy Technologies Institute, Sovento and MOLAS, we then extended this firmware. We added a baseline lidar data processing app which can be loaded onto a smart lidar systems. So some of this smart lidar is still in China, but we also got a lidar system for Move Laser which we will install soon on our research wind turbine. We are currently integrating a moving horizon lidar data processing. I will present this in a later slide. And we also have some apps which Feng, the PhD student here in Flensburg, is working on, such as wind view quality estimation, and we have also a TI estimation, which hopefully soon we can implement on the MOLAS lidar system. So you will get always our latest news at our LinkedIn #SmartLidar. We also already tested this concept on a floating wind turbine within VAMOS, a German-French research project. Here we installed a commercial LiDAR system on the FloatGen floating wind turbine demonstrator and did special LiDAR data processing, the motion compensation and the blade ghost avoidance, which I explain in a later slide. We further are working on multi-variable feed-forward control, and additionally to this commercial LiDAR system we have an industrial PC installed which is processing the same DLLs as we used in OpenFast simulations. It's currently used for power performance, but we hope that in the future we can use it also for LiDAR system control. And those results has been presented at the Wind Energy Science Conference. So what we did is that we simulated again our LiDAR and our wind turbine in OpenFast. Here we developed a LiDAR simulator, which we are also currently updating with our Technology Institute and also with NREL. And the main idea is that here in the simulation we can test our LiDAR data processing, which is specially designed for floating offshore wind turbines. We also test our feed-forward controller and our feedback controller. Then we have the commercial LiDAR system, again a closed system which provides line of sight wind speed, but also the baseline LiDAR data processing from the LiDAR manufacturer. We extended this system with our industrial PC, here we call it the Gateway PC, where we can in real time use the same apps here we have from simulation and run it on our Gateway PC in real time. One algorithm we tested here is what we call the motion compensation. So the main problem is when we have waves, our floating wind turbine will tilt quite a lot, and therefore our LiDAR installed on the nacelle will also not measure here in the intended position, but on different positions depending on the motions. So what we do, we first determine the nacelle motion velocity in line of sight direction by an IMU. Then we deduct the nacelle velocity from this measured line of sight wind speed, and then we calculate the actual measurement location to correct the wind field reconstruction. We further implement the blade ghost avoidance. So here it's first important to explain the blade ghost effect. So the blade ghost effect is caused by linear shear, which we often have at night, but also by this blockage of the blades we have depending on the rotational speed. And in combination with the scanning speed of our LiDAR, we get some interference. And since this interference mostly happened at night during some of our early field testing, and nobody really knew at the beginning where this was coming from, we called it the blade ghost effect. We further then developed some algorithms to avoid that, which in basically is an interpolation in the line of sight, such that we can avoid these problems of the interference. Here you can see some results from our real data. First, in green, here you can see the power spectral density of our wind speed from the baseline LiDAR data processing provided by the LiDAR OEM. And you see several peaks which should not be there, because here in black, this is what we can expect from a LiDAR based on theoretical wind spectrum. We first implemented our motion compensation, and you see we get rid of this peak, which most likely is the additional velocity introduced by the waves. Then in the next step, we implemented our blade ghost avoidance, and here we get this red spectrum. And you see the red spectrum is really close to what we expect. So here we can be sure that what we are measuring is really wind and not some interference or waves. So in general, the results show that with this improved LiDAR data processing, which can be implemented online, we can compensate the waves and we can avoid the blade ghost. We are further testing currently already on the floating wind turbine, something what we call the moving horizon LiDAR data processing. So conventional LiDAR data processing, so what you usually get from your LiDAR, is only able to combine all the line of sight wind speed from one range to one signal. Further, the amount of preview time is normally unknown. And also the preview time will change with the wind speed. Further, the signal includes uncorrelated wind, and also the signal is usually not available in LiDAR, in bladed, because you only get the line of sight wind speeds in bladed. Here, our Horizon LiDAR data processing we developed at Sovento provides a preview over the fixed horizon. So this preview is updated in every measurement update. Here we condensed all signals from all ranges, and we also remove all uncorrelated wind. And it's part of our smart LiDAR framework and can be loaded into bladed and also OpenFast. Here's some example how this looks like. Here in blue you see the real root effective wind speed from bladed, and in red you see our optimal LiDAR preview updated here with 4 Hz based on the line of sight wind speeds. And here in black you see the post view, so what has been then at the end provided by the LiDAR. And you see this preview will be updated depending on the new line of sight, and sometimes it fits really well to the real root effective wind speed, and sometimes it needs some time to update. But anyway, like important ramps such as this one here can be nicely predicted. And this preview can be implemented in really advanced controllers such as model predictive control. So this app is already available for OpenFast and bladed. If you're interested, please contact us at contact@sovento.com. We also are currently developing an adapter code for the MOLAS LiDAR, and we already tested this successfully of our gateway PC on a floating wind turbine. We also are planning to test it on our Flensburg MOLAS LiDAR, and soon as this works we will release also this app for the MOLAS LiDAR, and it's planned for the Chinese wind power 2021. We also made some progress in research. So here this is mainly work done by Feng, our PhD student, who is part of the LiDAR Knowledge Europe network, and he is providing an online estimation of the preview quality. Previously we had this blue method, so we condensed all the line of sight wind speed to one estimate of the root effective wind speed. Then from the turbine signal we get in real tests the root effective wind speed from the turbine. Then we compared this like the preview quality in the frequency domain by comparing those signals. However, the problem is this is quite sensitive and also requires the turbine signals, which in a commercial application often is not available for the LiDAR manufacturer. Therefore, we developed the green method. So that's our proposed method, where we use the signals from a pulsed LiDAR signal from various distances, And then just by time domain statistics combined with our frequency domain model, we provide an estimated preview quality where we don't require turbine signals. So this has been presented at the American Control Conference, and we are planning to integrate that into our smart Lidar and do some field testing and compare it to the previous method. To conclude, the smart Lidar concept will help the next generation of Lidar systems to become more adaptive and more user-friendly. This will have a large impact on wind turbine and wind farm control, optimization and monitoring. We further expect that the concept will accelerate floating offshore wind significantly. Lidar systems can provide detailed information of the wind inflow with this concept using apps currently developed by researchers, such as Feng here in Flensburg. The concept has been already tested and will be soon industrialized by Move Laser and Sovento. The main idea here is also to trigger collaboration, so please let us know what do you think about that and how you and your institution would like to contribute. Here, please contact us via email. We are looking forward to your feedback.